Alrighty, well, we are at 1 o'clock, so I'm going to go ahead and get started. Thank you everyone for joining. As you may have heard, this webinar is being recorded and it will be shared to the Governor's Conference YouTube channel, which I will share shortly in the chat box. This webinar series is supported by Virginia Housing, and we are pleased to present the Commonwealth Council on Aging's 2023 Best Practice Award winners. This webinar will highlight the year's first, second, and third place winners. And these awards serve to encourage organizations across the Commonwealth to develop and support programs and services that assist older adults to age in their community. It was established in 2006. These awards recognize and encourage the replication of these model programs, particularly those that foster aging in place, livable communities, and home or community-based services. The webinar will highlight this year's, as I said, first, second, and third winners. Mountain Empire Older Citizens, Joyful Voices Chorus, and the Virginia Department of the Blind and Vision Impaired for its Live Action, Live Healthy, Live Modern, and Senior Retreat program. So at this point, I'm going to stop sharing my screen. I will note that we really do encourage questions. Please submit your questions through the Q&A feature at the bottom of the screen. That will enable our speakers just to keep track of all inquiries as opposed to the chat box feature. But feel free to direct message me using the chat feature if you have any questions that are logistical questions. You may also use the raise hand feature to request to be unmuted during the Q&A portion, and I will go ahead and unmute you in that instance. But otherwise, keep an eye on the chat box. I will be sending over some links to our website where you can see previous recordings and notices of any future webinars, which we are actively looking for. So if you have any topic or know of a presenter who might be interested in presenting, we welcome proposals for the future of the webinar series. And please let me know if you have any questions. But at this point, I'm going to hand it over to Commissioner Hayfield. Thank you very much for joining.
Thank you so much. Good afternoon. I am just delighted to be here with you all today to highlight the Best Practices Awards of the Commonwealth Council on Aging. This webinar is a partnership between the Department for Aging and Rehabilitative Services, the Virginia Association of Area Agencies on Aging, and the Commonwealth Council on Aging. These awards are sponsored by Dominion Energy and AARP Virginia, and I want to thank them so much for this support. I'd also like to thank DARS Communications and V4A for the help in making this webinar possible. It takes a village, it takes us all to put these events together, and we really appreciate the partnership. These webinar opportunities offer an extra way for us all to highlight the special programs and best practices that are being developed and offering innovative programming for older Virginians. It's also been a delight to present these awards to the winning programs at recent on-site events as well. I know that this will be a treat this afternoon to hear about the 3 great awards. And at this point, I will pass the torch on to Debbie Preston, who is the chair of the Commonwealth Council on Aging Best Practices Committee. Debbie, thank you for all your work. On to you.
Thank you, Commissioner Hayfield. It's a pleasure to be here this afternoon. Each year, the Commonwealth Council on Aging hosts the Best Practice Awards to acknowledge organizations whose innovative programs can be replicated across the Commonwealth. Established in 2006, the Best Practice Awards recognize and encourage the replication of model programs, particularly those that foster aging in place, livable communities, and home and community-based services. Since 2012, Dominion Energy proudly provided financial support for the winning programs that truly go above and beyond in service to their communities. This year, the Council was pleased to also have the Best Practice Award sponsored by AARP Virginia. The commitment and sponsorship of Dominion Energy and AARP Virginia for these awards allows the council to recognize organizations with financial support for their dedication and work in advancing services for Virginia's elders. This year, on behalf of the Commonwealth Council on Aging, I am pleased to share that the applicants of the winning programs in 2023 really spoke to the manner in which local organizations and area agencies on aging have adapted to meet the needs of older adults during these recent challenging years. The council received over 15 nominations and the competition was tough. Organizations have been creative, innovative, and effective in addressing the pressing issues of transportation, social isolation and social connectedness, person-centered care, housing and community livability, and caregiving. Today's webinar will feature presentations from the first, second, and third place winners. These brief presentations will be followed by time for Q&A. Feel free to post your questions in the Q&A box or the chat box. We will come back to them later in the webinar. Now I'd like to introduce the first place program. First up, we have Mountain Empire Older Citizens, often referred to as MEOC, which received the first place award for its METGO program. Presenting on behalf of MEOC today is Mitch Elliott, who serves as the Transit Director for MEOC, and Will Wright, who is the Transit Operations Director.
Thank you so much for the opportunity to share our program and its success with other agencies across the Commonwealth. So let me give you a brief overview of our organization. Mountain Empire Transit is the transportation component of Mountain Empire Older Citizens, the area agency on aging. The service area consists of Wise, Scott, Lee counties, and the city of Norton in far southwest Virginia. Mountain Empire Transit has provided some type of transportation since 1974. The first service was focused on home delivered meals and nutrition sites. Rural public transportation was added with federal funding through the Department of Rails and Transportation in 1983. In 1989, Mountain Empire Older Citizens was recognized as the area public transit provider. Mountain Empire Older Citizens service area has a total population of around 90,000. Historically, mining and agriculture formed the bulk of employment in our service area. Since 1990, employment in these areas has steadily decreased. The economy is going through a transition stage at the present to a more creative economy, promoting tourism, culture, and the area's natural beauty. Mountain Empire has many challenges in its service area, with an average of more than 20% of our population below the federal poverty level. Transportation is a vital link to our communities, and innovation is more important now than ever to meet the challenges of rural transportation. METGO is a step forward, and we believe that it will and can be an anchor for many rural agencies across Virginia. If you'll notice in our first slide shows what the app looks like on a smartphone. You'll also see one of our partners mentioned, VIA, who helped create the app for us. You can change slides. Also, this slide mentions our other two partners and the two agencies, including us across the Commonwealth, that were selected to pilot the program. The Department of Rails and Public Transportation, with a FTA Integrated Mobility Grant, selected Met Transit and Bay Transit for the pilot program. These two agencies could not be more diverse on separate ends of the Commonwealth. Next slide, and I will turn it over to our Operations Director, Will Wright.
Hello, I'm Will Wright. It's going to give you just a little brief overview of what is METGO. It's basically the first ever ride share service in the Wise Norton community. As the slide says, you can kind of think of this as like a minibus that comes when you want it to be there. We're a demand response service, which requires a 24-hour notice, but with the METGO app, right now we're looking anywhere from 10 to 15-minute wait for your ride to show up. It's the same day. Next slide. There's several different ways that you can utilize the METGO app on any type of smartphone, iPad, and we also actually have a portal that the local hospitals and homeless shelters can actually use to build trips for clients that do not have a phone. And also our dispatch can actually build you a trip if you don't have a smartphone or access to one. We've seen the homeless shelter, local homeless shelter utilize this more of the portal, getting people to job interviews the same day or getting them to work. It's been a real game changer for them. Next slide, please. Where we service at right now, currently with the pilot program, is in the town of Wise in the city of Norton. What we found out is really quickly that we had to expand the area due to the high demand of people wanting to ride Met Go. Some of the destinations that are popular, of course, is the University of Virginia at Wise, and of course the local Walmart. Everybody's got to go to the Walmart. That is a hot place, or you'll always see a Met Go service in the Walmart parking lot, which and if you notice, we have the Norton City Hall and Wise County Public Schools, and the Sykes Enterprise is a industrial park for a lot of jobs that was created in the area. Next slide, please. So some of the things that we did learn when we started up the service, now everybody wants a Met Go in their town. They've seen the success rates, they've seen the employment that's been raised, access to medical care, on demand. What we learned is that the people that do work can actually ride longer or work longer during the day, because we had to extend the hours to 7 p.m., which we normally would quit at 5, which has really helped employers and employees, with more hours and with their business. And this is more flexible. Sometimes the shifts would change on demand, and they would have to have it's hard to do that when you have a 24-hour notice to give. If your shift changed the same day, with the Met Go service, you can actually change it on demand and go in later or go in earlier. It also caught a lot of national attention. Reuters magazine or news had done an article on it, and we had a Berkeley College come down and do a study. And what we learned in the study was, we thought that the University of Virginia College at Wise would be more of the hub, or more of the students would utilize the Met Go service. But what we found out is 60% of our riders are older citizens. And by using that, they've had more access to healthcare, which has been a huge game changer in our area. Next slide. Here's the overview of just some of the numbers from the day we launched. Tomorrow will be our 2-year anniversary. And right now, at this time, we have completed 55,829 trips, and we've transported 76,325 people. We have an average wait time of 10 minutes. There's been 3,126 accounts created to be able to utilize it. And we keep an average rating of five stars. And again, I said earlier that 60% of our riders are older citizens. Next slide. And I'll go ahead and turn it back over to Mitch.
And another part of our success was a program that was provided by the Department of Rails and Public Transportation that allowed us to be fare-free for the next 4 years with approval and support of MEOC's Board of Directors. This has been a godsend to our area as we overcome the lasting effects of COVID and the transition of our economy. The Transit Ridership Incentive Program set out to reduce barriers to transit use for low-income individuals across the Commonwealth. Next slide. Before we talk about future plans, I'd like to highlight some statements from those that use the service. And the numbers that Will just mentioned are great, but the lives that have been changed through this service are the real story here. Met Go quickly became a community within a community. And here's just a few quotes from people that used the service. We talked with a veteran that was legally blind, and he said that this has given me back my quality of life. I don't have to sit in the house all day long to wait for my wife to come home. I can get out and go to the post office or even go to the gym. Another quote was, I cannot drive due to health reasons. So this service has been a lifesaver for me. Also spoke with a single father who was trying to raise 2 teenage daughters. And his statement was that I can know that they are safe when they're riding on Met Go. Another one mentioned that I'm now able to get around since I cannot walk everywhere and cannot afford a car. We have many other stories about changed lives. And so our future plans are for MetGo. We have received a demo grant. I can announce that now. We have received a demo grant to expand our services to the town of Big Stone Gap, Appalachia, and Duffield, which is the second largest portion of our service area. And then our third goal is to expand it to the town of Pennington Gap into Jonesville, and then to link all of our service areas together. And in closing, we have a lot of people to thank. We want to thank those that helped us and guided us through the process. Via, who guided us, Jennifer DeBrule and her staff at Department of Rails and of Public Transportation, who believed in us, and our CEO and board of directors who made it possible. And last but not least, the drivers who made it all work. And I'll turn it back over to Debbie.
Thank you, Mitch and Will, and congratulations again. Next up, we have Joanne Sherman with Joyful Voices Chorus, which received the second place award. Joanne is the artistic director of Joyful Voices Chorus. Joanne, take it away.
Thank you for this honor, Debbie, and for this opportunity to share. The World Health Organization is predicting that by 2050, there will be 15 million people in the US living with dementia. At this point in time, there is no drug that truly eliminates or halts the progress of Alzheimer's. Those who are diagnosed with dementia are faced with recurring visits to doctors, participating in drug trials and drug therapies, and are frequently reminded about all the things they can no longer do. Joyful Voices Chorus, on the other hand, invites and encourages its members to get involved in something more powerful than most drugs: music. We are a program based on a social approach to relating to our loved ones with dementia, rather than dosing them with more pharmaceuticals. We serve the caregivers as much as we do those living with memory loss. The medical world has been so focused on promoting general health and survival. We, on the other hand, use choral singing and performance to promote a sense of well-being, create lasting friendships, and lift the spirits of all involved. As Dr. Alan Power suggested in his book, Dementia Beyond Drugs, we strive to fill each member with those 7 components of well-being: identity, connection, security, autonomy, meaning, growth, and above all, joy. Something magical happens when we share a song. Music is powerful. It's a powerful connector, and singing is something that those with memory loss can enjoy and excel, even when other abilities fade. Part of our job is to educate the community and help to dispel the stigma of Alzheimer's. We empower people with Alzheimer's to change the narrative around living well with dementia. Receiving this second place 2023 Best Practices Award from the Commonwealth Council on Aging has been such an honor, and we hope it will inspire others around the state of Virginia to create similar dementia chorus opportunities within their own communities. Enjoy this video, which I feel confident will demonstrate to all of you the powerful impact Joyful Voices Chorus is having on our community right here in Central Virginia. Betsy?
Catch a falling star and catch a falling star and fly, never let it fail. Catch a falling star and catch a falling star and save it for a rainy, save it for a rainy, save it for a rainy
singing, sharing, laughing, stretching, even some dancing, reliving old memories and making new ones. Yes, since the fall of 2018, the members of the Joyful Voices Chorus have been enjoying these activities while creating meaningful moments and beautiful music on Thursday mornings. Joyful Voices is a community chorus where those living with Alzheimer's or other forms of dementia are encouraged to come with a family member or friend to share in the experience of true choral singing, along with many other dedicated volunteers. Joyful Voices chorus members sing together to stimulate the mind, energize the body, and elevate the spirit as they strive to defy dementia one song at a time. The group meets in the fellowship hall provided by their community partner, the Salisbury Presbyterian Church in Midlothian, Virginia. Participants snack and share some social time from 10 to 10:30 a.m., then rehearse from 10:30 to 11:30 a.m. Each participant is provided with a binder containing lyrics and sheet music, along with practice recordings. Fall and spring semesters are scheduled for each season and culminate with a public concert for the community. All people have the same basic needs. We want to be treated with dignity and respect. We want to feel needed, to connect with and contribute to others within our community, and to experience a sense of well-being. These needs do not change following a diagnosis of Alzheimer's or any other related dementia. Joyful Voices Chorus has created an environment where friendships flourish, stories and interests are explored, great music is shared, and movement activities promote both improved physical and brain health. Rehearsals offer an inclusive, non-judgmental, and supportive atmosphere where singers, caregivers, and volunteers are all important contributors to the team effort. Caregivers also report a feeling of improved well-being and a reduction in depression and stress. Thursday mornings provide them the opportunity to share different strategies and to network with each other to help find successes in their daily lives. Dementia-aware volunteers assist with the needs of both the singers and the caregivers. All participants will tell you that the highlight of their week is the time spent singing, laughing, moving, and grooving with their friends at Joyful Voices. Music can help activate neural pathways in the brain and is a gateway to our emotions. There are very few drugs more powerful than music. It is not so much about what our participants remember. It is all about how they feel. When members enter that doorway on Thursdays, their faces light up with enthusiasm, smiles, and sheer joy. Joyful Voices is a 501c3 organization and serves as an early stages support group for the Greater Richmond Alzheimer's Association. The chorus is honored to have received the 2023 Best Practices Award from the Southern Gerontological Society. You can donate, register, volunteer, and learn more about Joyful Voices by visiting our website at www.joyfulvoiceschorus.org. We encourage you to like us on our Facebook page and visit our designated YouTube channel to view our concert videos. No special singing skills are required to be a member. All you seasoned longtime chorus members, come join us and share your expertise.
To those who have never been in a chorus, come let us teach you all about it. We feel confident that you will leave each Thursday morning with your spirits lifted as you join us in defying dementia, one song at a time.
Won't you sing
Thank you,
Thank you.
Joanne.
Thank you.
Thank you, Joanne. What a lovely video, and congratulations on your second place award.
Thank you so much.
Now, for our final program presentation, I'd like to introduce Melody Rome. Melody is director of the Virginia Rehabilitation Center for the Blind and Vision Impaired, and she will be highlighting the third place program, Live Active, Live Healthy, Live Modern Senior Retreat, LIVE program. Melody, thank you for joining us today.
Thank you so much for this opportunity, and we are very excited about the honor of winning third place. Next slide. We have the Live Active, Live Healthy, Live Modern program that we present here at the Virginia Rehabilitation Center for the Blind and Vision Impaired. This program is a one-week program for individuals who are 55 plus experiencing vision loss and individuals who have lost the ability to read, to get around, to take care of their homes, and to do the activities that they once enjoyed. Next slide. The instructional areas in which we provide training include coping with vision loss. This is our Conversations About Blindness class, which is a group discussion in which individuals share some of their thoughts, their fears, the things that they get frustrated about, and then develop solutions for those problems that they have identified. It is also a good way to build networks so that when they leave the program, they have others that they can follow up with, that they can talk to once they return to their home communities. We also provide training in daily living skills, or what we call personal and home management. And individuals will learn safe ways to cook, to sew, to label medications, to use talking clocks, signature guides, etc. Next slide. Independent travel skills. A lot of times when individuals come to us, they do not want to use the long white cane because they feel like it will identify them as blind or vision impaired, and they don't want people to know. And a lot of times by the time they leave us, they are using their canes because they learn that it's not just a way to identify themselves as blind, it is a tool that they can use to be able to do the things that they did before. So to be able to travel independently, it becomes a tool of freedom rather than a tool of identification. All right, so the next slide. This is Access Technology, and this is one of the more popular classes that we have here because individuals who come to our senior retreat want to learn how to send emails to loved ones. A lot of times they talk about wanting to send something to their grandchildren, and they also want to learn ways that they can use their iPhones. So they learn a lot of different things that they can do in that class. And so that's, like I said, one of the more popular classes that we have. Diabetes education. This is a class, a lot of our individuals who come to the program are experiencing diabetes, and they learn techniques and strategies for being able to monitor their health situations independently. So they learn how to use the talking glucometer and different strategies so that they don't have to depend on others to do that for them. Next slide. Nutritional consultation. Individuals will learn about the mind and body benefits of a healthy diet and how you can monitor nutritional information about food using non-visual strategies. Recreational and wellness activities. This is a class that, and then activities we have in the evening that participants love to do. So we will show them ways that they can do the activities that they did before that they are not sure that they can do now that they are blind or vision impaired. And an example of that is a couple of years ago, we had a 93-year-old participant who participated in the ballroom dancing class one night and didn't leave the building until after 10 o'clock and missed some of the classes the next day. But that was something that meant the world to her because she had been involved in that so much when she was sighted, and she learned that she could enjoy ballroom dancing and be successful with it even as a blind person. Next slide. We're going to look at the numbers that we have. So the LIB program is vital to the welfare of blind and vision impaired Virginians, and it will, it's the only one of its kind in the Commonwealth of Virginia. So the following are the numbers that we have for the program, and it's over the last 5 years. So in 2022, we had 20 individuals who participated. 2021 was 5. 2020 was 0 because of COVID. And 2021 was affected a lot by COVID because we were still in the midst of that. 2019, we had 25 individuals. In 2018, we had 22. And in 2017, we had 19 individuals. In 2023, at the recommendation of the award committee, we are offering 2 one-week programs. And at this point, we have 44 individuals who have signed up to participate in our senior retreat this year, which doubles the participation rate that we have had in previous years. And we're very excited about that. Next slide. Program impact. So participants are exposed to and learn the skills of blindness so that they can return home and live independently and do the things that they have always enjoyed doing. They learn to manage their medications, reducing the need for them to depend on family members or caretakers due to their vision loss. They network with and socialize with others from around the state who participate in the program and build a network that they can use and is powerful for them when they return home. The LIB program has a lasting impact on participants, with some choosing to further their training in blindness skills by attending the VRC-BVI adult training program. So if 1 week is not enough, they really want to work on developing those skills more, they can come back to our program that we run during the rest of the year. Next slide. So what started the LIV program? The LIV program was developed because of the increasing number of seniors who become blind or vision impaired. The idea was to introduce them to the skills of blindness. Sometimes that's all they need. Sometimes they decide that they want to come back for more. Individuals also can attend with a +1, and it is important for the +1s to really see what their loved one is capable of doing. And we also work with them on ways that they can encourage their loved one and using the skills that they're learning once they return home. Next slide. Program growth and expansion. One of as the LIV program has grown over the past years, we have heard many people say that they didn't want to leave because they were learning ways that they could truly be independent. So as I said earlier, this year we are offering 2 one-week programs, and already it is almost full. And we will probably have a wait list. Next slide. Who should attend? So the qualifications or requirements that we have for the program is that you must have an open rehabilitation teaching case with the Virginia Department for the Blind and Vision Impaired. You must be an individual who is blind or vision impaired. You must be age 55 or older, be able to self-administer all medications and manage medical and personal needs independently. And this is something we have a health educator who can go out into the community and work with individuals in their homes to gain those skills. So a lot of times before they come to us, they already have that basic skill. Next slide. Possess physical health, stamina, and functional ability to participate fully in all retreat activities. We go from early morning until late evening, and you would probably be surprised at the people who that's what they do. They're here early in the morning and they go till late in the evening. They must have a strong desire to achieve independence. Our outreach is done through our rehabilitation teachers, through our field offices, and we also do advertising with social media. We also, one of our more effective ways, I think, of advertising is when seniors return home, they are effective ambassadors for our program. So a lot of people tell me that they come to us because somebody told them how wonderful the program was. Next slide. We provide written reports for individuals when they finish the program and for their rehabilitation teachers that outline the strengths, the challenges, and recommendations. Next slide. We have success stories. And one of the success stories I wanted to share with you was we had an individual who was living in Northern Virginia with her family. She would not come out of her room because she was scared to death of falling down the stairs, and really spent a lot of time crying and not really feeling that her family was understanding what she was experiencing. After coming to the senior retreat for a week, she decided to come back for more extensive training in the skills of blindness. And she moved into her own apartment, lives there independently, and she also found a job. So she was very excited about that. Next slide, we have a quote from her that talks about the impact of the program on her life. Next slide, we are going to hear from a past LIVE participant, and this is Bob Meter. So if you could play the video for that, please.
Hi, my name is Bob Meter, and I'd like to talk to you a little bit about the senior program here at DBVI. I participated last August, and it was a tremendous opportunity for me. The thing I loved about it most was that it gave me an opportunity to kind of stick my toes in the water and really see what the education program here was all about. It was fabulous. I got to do some cane training, which I really needed. I got to get some home management. I got an introduction to Braille, among lots of other things here. The instructors were fabulous, and I can't recommend this enough. Actually, I really recommend it for you because once you're comfortable with this, you're going to want to come back. And right now, I am a full-time student because I went to the senior program. They made me feel very comfortable, so now I'm back permanently. All right, well, not permanently, okay, but I'm back to get some real serious knowledge to make myself more independent.
Thank you. We also have another short video from the +1 of a participant, Tom Dillon.
Hello, my name is Tom Dillon. I'm Susan Dillon's husband. When we arrived at the DBVI Center for a summer retreat for training, we were both scared and uncertain about what the future held for us. After a week's training there, we knew that we had a bright future and that we knew that life would go on. And the training we received there from those incredible people was outstanding. You'll very much benefit from their services. Thank you.
Next slide. For any questions or information, please feel free to contact me, Melody Roan, and has my contact information, or Brooke Rogers. To schedule a tour, Michelle Davis is our tour coordinator, and her information is up on the screen as well. Thank you again so much for this opportunity and for this honor.
Thank you, Melody, and congratulations to you. We would Now like to take a few moments to hear from our wonderful sponsors of the Best Practice Awards. First up, we have Bill Murray, Senior Vice President of Corporate Affairs and Communications with Dominion Energy. Dominion has been an annual $10,000 sponsor of the award since 2012. Bill has a legendary career in government and government relations and special interest in the issues affecting older adults.
Thank you very much. And thank you. Really, all I want to say today are two things. First, thanks to the council. Thank you to the commissioner. Thank you to the state agencies and other agencies who are involved in making these awards a success. Thank you for the innovative programs that you're bringing forth every year. And I guess this has been in June for a while, and it really has never occurred to me. I guess just because the way the calendar fell, we're right before the 4th of July weekend. It is fitting that this is held right before the nation's Independence Day, because the theme that sort of unites these programs, in addition to quality of life, is independence in all of its many facets. And if there is anything our nation is about, it is independence. And if there's any, I saw one of the criteria for one of the programs was strong desire for independence. And that is something I think is very encoded in human DNA. So I want to thank everybody for what they're doing to further that cause. And with that, I will yield back to our chair.
Thank you for joining us today, Bill. As I mentioned earlier in my remarks, this year the council also received $1,500 in sponsorship funding from AARP Virginia, which we're thrilled about. Offering remarks on behalf of AARP Virginia today is Jessica Eklund, who serves as the Associate State Director for Advocacy and Outreach. Jessica, it has been so nice getting to know you this year through the process.
All right. Thank you, Deborah. I appreciate that. And, thank you to everyone at the Commonwealth Council of Aging for helping to make this award happen. All I'd like to do is say that, AARP Virginia is very proud to be a sponsor of the 2023 Best in Practice Award. Today, we take a moment to recognize these innovative services and programs that promote self-determination, social engagement, and livable communities for people of all ages. Congratulations to all the awardees and honorable mentions for a job well done. We appreciate all that you do in the community, and we hope that this award will allow you to expand your services and assist more individuals and their caregivers. Thank you again, everyone, for all that you do. AARP Virginia is very honored to sponsor this program.
Thank you, Jessica. I believe this concludes our planned program. Jillian, do we have some time to answer any questions we may have received?
Absolutely. Go ahead. You have about 15 minutes.
Okay, it looks like we have one question in the Q&A chat. This one is for METCO. How many vehicles are in the METCO fleet? Are the drivers volunteer or paid? What routing software do they use, like Google Maps or something more sophisticated?
Okay, currently, we have 4 vehicles. They're kind of like a high top van, 4 vehicles that run the route, and they are paid drivers. The software that we use is VIA, which they do use Google Maps as their main mapping source, but VIA is the software.
Thank you.
It looks go ahead, Charlotte. Sorry.
Looks like we have a question for Melody. Is there a charge for the Live Retreat? Is it residential? Where is it located? And are meals included?
Okay, thank you for the question. There is no charge for the program. And it is held at the Virginia Rehabilitation Center for the Blind and Vision Impaired in Henrico, so 401 Azalea Avenue. And it is residential. We do have a dormitory. And so individuals will stay in the dormitory. They can bring a +1 with them. Some people do and some people don't.
And their meals included?
Thank you. Yes, we have a cafeteria that provides meals.
Now, moving on to Joyful Voices Chorus. the question is, when is the next concert?
We will be having our fall 2023 concert on November 16th, that Thursday morning at 11 o'clock. It is in the fellowship hall of our community partners, the Salisbury Presbyterian Church, right here in Midlothian, Virginia. And we hope you all will come.
Thank you. Another question for Joanne. Can you give us a spoiler for what songs we can expect at the fall concert?
We always have a theme. The past theme this spring was put on a happy face. But our fall theme for 2023 is accentuate the positive. So there will be a lot of positivity going on.
Thank you. Let's see. Jillian, I don't see any more questions in the Q&A
Nope.
box.
Nope. So if anybody has any additional questions, feel free to do so now. We have a couple of minutes, but I do just want to thank DARS and the Commonwealth Council on Aging for your partnership in this. I think it was great that we were able to highlight these wonderful programs. Again, keep your eyes peeled for a follow-up email that will be going out to all attendees with a link to the slide deck and to the webinar recording. And feel free to visit vgcaging.com to view all things conference related, past webinar information, and future webinar information as well. You can also reach out to me. My email is in the chat if you have any webinar related questions. But again, thank you very much to all of our speakers this afternoon and for these great partnerships and the programs that were highlighted.
Jillian, are there any more questions?
I don't see any.
Okay. Well, before we wrap up, I would like to take a moment to share with you the organizations that received honorable mentions for the 2023 Best Practice Awards. They are Aging and Community Leadership Team, Fairfax Area Agency on Aging for its Fairfax Caregiver Alert Notifications Program, and Piedmont Senior Resource Area Agency on Aging for its non-emergency medical transport. The Commonwealth Council on Aging looks forward to its 2024 Best Practice Awards. More information will be forthcoming about the application process and timelines for that. Today's webinar will be available on the Virginia Governor's Conference on Aging website and on the Governor's Conference on Aging YouTube page. DARS will also make sure to post a link to the recording on the Council on Aging website as well. Thank you all for attending.
Thank you everyone for joining. Unless there are any further remarks, everyone have a great rest of your afternoon and week.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Goodbye, everyone.
Goodbye.